Yeah, I talk cash, but I can back it on up. Got the racks on top of racks, yeah, I stack it on up. Don't hear my line about no drama, I'ma hang it on up.
What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be doing a full face tutorial using the new Anastasia Subculture palette. Why was I going to say Modern Renaissance? Using the new Anastasia Subculture palette. So this is a full face tutorial. I'm going to be doing everything from foundation, concealer, everything, using a majority of the Anastasia products that I do own. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. But if you want to skip directly to just me working with the eyeshadows, you can skip right using this link right here. And if you just want to skip directly to my final thoughts and what I think about the palette, you can click right there. But I definitely suggest you watch the whole video so you can find out how to get this glamorous look using the palette, and if I really like it or not. Like, is it good or not? Does it blend or not? Like, what's good, Anastasia? So definitely continue watching, and if you aren't subscribed to my channel, please do so. The link is right down there. And also don't forget to hit the notification button so you can make sure to get all my uploads on time, direct to you. Click that right there so you never miss an upload. And stay tuned for the video. Getting into the video, today I'm going to be doing a review tutorial over the Anastasia Subculture palette, and here's the box right here. But before I do the eye look I'm going to do today, I'm going to do a full face of makeup using various products, but I'm going to try to use mostly Anastasia stuff, or the Anastasia stuff I do have. Like, I have Anastasia highlighters, and I have the Anastasia contour palette, I have Anastasia brow, and I have the foundation stick. Also, I want to say this video is not sponsored or anything, so before you even go there, it's not. I just wanted to use some of the other Anastasia products that I own in this video because I thought it'd be kind of like cute to do that. I want to see a full face because I did have a couple requests in my last video to do, like, girl, do a full face, let me see you do a full face. So I'm gonna do it. So let's get started. Am I the only one who's like low-key obsessed with 21 Savage right now? Like, I really love his new album. So I'm gonna be playing that while I do my makeup, and then, you know, jam it out. Alright. Starting off, I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution Aqua Priming Base. I really love this stuff because I feel like it really hydrates my skin and allows the foundation to glide on really smoothly. So I'm going to let that dry down, and while I'm fanning myself, my fan actually broke. I was trying to fix it, but it was unfixable. Okay, now for primer. I'm using a primer from Wet n Wild. And I really like this primer because it's really hydrating again and allows foundation to glide on more smoothly. And to prime my brows, I'm using the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I feel like using a primer on my brows allows the pencil to glide on better and allows the pencil to last longer. So I'm using an OG Anastasia brow pencil, the original brow pencil in dark brown. I love this stuff because it's really, really pigmented, and it's been a while since I used it, but you guys can tell I've used it quite a lot because it's kind of small with the pencil now. And I'm just filling in my brows, defining them, giving them more shape and definition. Okay, so now to conceal under my brows and highlight, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Concealer Contour Palette. And as you can see, this palette has got a lot of love from me. I'm just gonna mix a few of the colors together to get the perfect under brow highlight shade, and I'm just gonna use a concealer brush to cut and define those brows, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of a darker concealer shade in that palette to define above my brows. This just adds extra definition, making the brows look extra sharp. I love the way it looks. And using a fluffy concealer blending brush, I'm just going to buff away that excess concealer around the brows. Now to color correct, I'm using the Urban Decay color corrector, and I believe it's in the shade Orange. And I'm just going to
correct in all my dark spots around my mouth, on my forehead, under my eyes, and using a dampened Ulta Beauty sponge, I'm just gonna tap, 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 and blend out this color corrector. Now for foundation, I'm using the Anastasia Stick Foundation. Honestly, guys, ever since I reviewed this foundation, I think about a year ago, I used it that one time and I never used it again. It's not that it's bad or anything, I just honestly forgot I had it and moved on to other foundations. But I'm glad I used it today because it just kind of reminded me how much I initially liked it. So I'm just blending it around using an Sigma buffing foundation brush, and for under eye highlight I'm going to use NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. Honestly, I'm really like not a super fan of this concealer. I think it's pretty good, but it's not my favorite, but I know a lot of people like it, so I thought I'd go ahead and use it in this tutorial. And I'm just going to highlight under my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, a little bit of my forehead, around my mouth, you know, all in the normal highlighty areas, and just using that Ulta Beauty sponge and tap tap and blending out that concealer. But I will say this concealer is like super pigmented because it was a little hard to blend under the eyes, but yeah, it's a super pigmented concealer. I'm still getting used to it. Okay, so to set my under eyes, I'm using the MAC CC Yellow Highlighting powder. I love this stuff, but I feel like I can never find it on the MAC website anymore. I don't know if it was limited edition, but I'm so sad because I feel like when I run out of this, I'm never going to be able to find it again. It makes me so sad, but I really, really love this stuff. It sets so well, it has no flashback, and it's such a beautiful, finely milled powder. Now to set the rest of my face, I'm going to use my L'Oreal True Match powder. I'm just going to dip my fluffy brush in there and buff it all on the places that I didn't use that CC setting powder. Now to contour, I'm going to use an oldie but goodie, my Anastasia contour palette. I remember when I first got this a few years ago, I was in love with this, and it's been a while since I used it. Using a tutorial really reminded me how much I love this palette. Colors are so blendable, and you can just kind of like blend all the colors into like what you want. I really, really love it. I'm also going to use it to contour down the bridge of my nose, just define that nose, get it snatched, girl. And then I'm going to wipe off that blending brush and go into some of the highlighting shades I have in this palette and use that to highlight the bridge of my nose and under my eyes. Just add some additional highlight, make me look real awake, you know what I'm saying?
Hey guys, so I have done the complexion part. If you skipped that portion of the video, you missed out. So now we're gonna be going to eyes because that's what you guys are here for. And we're gonna be talking about the Subculture palette from Anastasia. So I have heard good and bad things about this palette. And we're just gonna test it out, guys. We're gonna do a first impressions. I'm just gonna play with some colors. I really don't know what shades I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do kind of like a little cut crease thing. Because I've really been into that recently. I'm just gonna go ahead and prime my lid, and I'm using the MAC 24-hour primer. So I'm gonna use that on the lid. And I've heard people say that the eyeshadows in this palette don't blend well. I heard that it's Fallout City from some people on YouTube, and I'm just like, what? Because so many people love the I'm gonna put a little bit of this primer under my eye because I'm gonna put some eyeshadow under my eye later. It's just so crazy to think that people aren't feeling this palette. Like, what? Or not? Is it really bad, or are you mad? That's what I want to know. So let's see, guys. I bought this palette with my own money. But this palette retails for $42, and it comes with this really big mirror, as you see here. I'm gonna take this sticker off. Comes with this huge mirror, so I'll be using the mirror and the brush that comes with it. I usually like to wash my brushes before I use them, but okay, I think I'll be all right. So I'm gonna go in with the fluffy side of the brush, and I'm gonna take the shade Fudge from the palette, which is this shade here, this brown. And from what I heard, oh yeah, I tapped in there twice and I can see that it's already picking up a lot of powder. So I feel like people just have to get used to using it, maybe. That's what it is. Oh, Fudge is super pigmented, okay. Too much pigment, okay. That's not, I didn't want that dark of a brown. It's a lot browner than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, oops, 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 oops. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Okay, so the first shade I'm gonna go into actually is gonna be New Wave, because as I see, these shadows are super pigmented. So let's whip out that fluffy brush and dip it in New Wave. Just dip once, tap off, as you can see some powder coming off there. And I'm gonna place, okay, yeah, much better. I'm gonna place New Wave into the crease, and it's like a mustardy yellow shade. I'm really digging these kind of colors right now, especially going into fall. And what I'm noticing using this this eyeshadow is that a little goes a long way. So I'm not really like picking up a ton of products. You see I'm just like barely dipping in there, and I'm getting, but this brush though, I should have washed this brush because it's kind of giving me little hairs everywhere. I can see that it's really soft, and you really don't have to blend hard. I'm using like light pressure here. I will say there is quite a bit of kick up even with me lightly tapping into the palette. I'm getting quite a bit of pickup, meaning dust. That doesn't really bother me too much. I know with some people it does bother them, but it doesn't really bother me. It just blow it away, and it's like it never happened. So now that I have that mustard in the crease, I'm really liking that. I will go in with the shade All Star, which is this shade here. This nice burgundy shade. And I'm just gonna lightly dip because I'm already seeing like the pigmentation. All you have to do is literally just like cap your brush in here. Tap. I'm gonna gently put this on the crease and begin to blend. Slowly and softly, because I'm seeing that these shadows are super pigmented and less is more. I'm not seeing any patchiness. Are y'all seeing any patchiness? Like I was expecting Patch City, okay, because I saw some reviews like the shadow was just the worst thing in the planet. So I'm just like, girl, what? Like, the shadow's that bad? Nah, it's just really pigmented, like, oh, so pigmented. Just trying to make sure I get both eyes even. Ooh, this mirror on this palette is nice though. You know what? These shadows kind of remind me of the ColourPop pressed shadows, in the sense like the ColourPop mattes are very, very pigmented, and a little goes a long way, and you really have to be careful with how much product you apply, because you know, once it's there, it's there. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that it's hard to blend or anything, it's just that you apply too much product unintentionally because of how soft these shadows are. So I'm gonna go in next with the shade Roxy, which is the salmon shade, and I think, oh yeah, that's the shadow I want. So I'm gonna use the same brush from Zoeva, lightly tap in there, tap off the excess, and I'm just gonna go right in my crease with this shade. I kind of want to add more color to this crease before I cut it.
Okay, to cut my crease, I'm going to use my NARS Creamy Rated Concealer, and I'm using a flat concealer brush, and I'm just going to apply that on the inner 1/2 of the lid, just blending and starting off with that nice base for the shadow I'm going to apply wet on top.
Adorn, which is this really pretty bronzy metallic shade, and it's calling my name. It's calling me. I'm gonna press in there. Ooh. To really deepen up this crease some more, I'm going into the shade Rowdy. Taking the same brush. It's a little bit, I know I only need a teeny bit.
I'm just taking this brush and lightly tapping into the shade and placing it on the outer V. I'm gonna blend the shade out once I have placed the amount of color that I feel like is efficient for the outer V area. And the shade is so pretty. I did notice, however, that it says it's a darkened black purple, but it looked almost like a dark navy blue. And I just used that buffing brush that came with the palette to blend out that shadow. And I added a little bit more of that burgundy shade in the middle outer 1/2 of the lid, because I really wanted that shade to show up a little bit more. And then I'm just touching up the shadows.
I'm gonna go around the edges and make sure everything's nice and blended. But I don't know if y'all seeing this, like it looks really dope. I like this. I'm gonna take All Star and blend that all along the lower lash line, and then take a little bit of Rowdy on the outer edge. So I'm gonna use a pencil brush for this portion, and I'm just gonna tear duct. I'm gonna take the shade Electric. I'm gonna try out that shade. Apply that right here. Take this little blending brush and gently blend out the color in the lower lash line. Just add so gently. So I'm not gonna do liner, I'm just gonna go to mascara. I'm gonna use the Camera Lashes holographic one from Tarte. I'm gonna apply this on my lashes. Of course, I'm going to be putting my favorite lashes. These are the I Love Me lashes. These are the Morgans. Lips. lips. I did buy one of the Anastasia lipsticks. This is the shade Cool Brown. And the reason I bought this is because when I saw the swatches on Instagram, it looks like a really nice nude for brown girls, like cool brown. Yes, because if you guys don't know, I do like cool toned browny nudes. I feel like those look the most natural when I put them on my lips. So I'm gonna put that on real quick and then I'll highlight my face. So I'm lining my lips using this Absolute lip liner. See how this baby looks? Oh, yes, I'm liking this. I'm liking this, guys. The color is everything. Oh, this may be my new favorite nude. It looks a lot like Sepia from Anastasia, but like a lipstick version. And I love Sepia. Oh my god, I love this. Okay, I'm gonna add a little lip gloss. This is just an LA Colors High Shine Shea Butter Gloss in the shade Fresh. The nude gloss. You guys know I am your girl's feeling herself. Okay. Now to highlight my face, I have with me two Anastasia illuminating highlighters. Like, do I want to do like a rose gold or peach nectar? I'm feeling like peach nectar would really like look nice with the salmon color I have in the crease. So I'm gonna go with peach nectar. Big old fan brush from Luxie. This is the Wonder Woman collection brush. It's so pretty. Like, I feel like fan brushes, big fan brushes like this really apply highlight like so good. Can't stop myself. Okay, I have to put the highlight down. Okay, so for blush, I have this little tiny NARS blush that I got when I became a Rouge member. You know, like your membership starts and you get a little gift packet. So I got this little tiny blush, and this is in Wili. I don't know how to say that. It's a really pretty plummy blush and I really like it, so I'm gonna put that on. You guys, I feel like a bombshell. Like, I feel super glamorous with this makeup. Like, oh girl, yes. On my face, I'm gonna use the Makeup Revolution Pro Base Aqua Priming water. I don't know. Spray it on my face. Okay guys, so as you guys see, I did this really glamorous look using the Anastasia Subculture palette. So now I'm gonna go through my final thoughts and tell you guys what I think of it. Over a little bit of the specs on the palette. So it's $42 and you get it from AnastasiaBeverlyHills.com. You can get it from Sephora and Ulta. It says, an description of the palette is listed as an essential eyeshadow collection. Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette features 14 shades that range from grungy mattes to bold metallics with an underground edge. Complement to the best-selling Modern Renaissance palette. So this is supposed to be like the sister palette, like the, you know, the edgy sister. And it also lists It has full pigmented, easy to blend formula, 14 shades with ultra matte duochrome metallic finishes, includes a dual ended brush, which you guys saw earlier. And I will go through each shade and briefly go through the names and how it's described. So Roxy is described as a ultra matte muted coral shade, and I can say it is very pretty coral shade. I do have that, you know, up in the crease. It looks so good. We have Electric, which is a duochrome lime and gold shade, and I have that in the inner tear duct here at the bottom, and it's super pretty. It really sets the mood for this look. Next we have Fudge, which is an ultra matte warm bronze, and this is a deep shade. Like, it doesn't look very deep, but it's deep, girl. It's deep. Next we have New Wave, which is an ultra matte citron orange. Very pretty. I can't wait to do like a all over, put that like all over my lid. I think that will look really, really dope. Next we have Untamed, which is an ultra matte tarnished green, and as you guys can see, it is a really nice green shade. I haven't worked with that yet, but I'm excited to put that on next. After that we have Edge, which is an ultra matte gold mustard, and that will look really pretty on the lid too. So next is Rowdy, which is an ultra matte black and purple, and it's, as you guys can see, it is a very deep black and purple. I use that in the crease. Axis, an ultra matte blue green. I can't wait to use that one. We have Mercury, which is an ultra matte slate gray. All Star, which is an ultra matte vintage wine color. I did use that in the crease as well. It's super pretty. We have Adorn, which is that really beautiful metallic bronze shade. I use that on the lid, as you guys can see, and it's like bomb as hell. And then we have Destiny, which is an ultra matte green or sage green shade, and that's really pretty. I'll swatch that for you guys on my finger. Super pretty. And then we have Dawn, and I use that as my highlight shade. That is described as an ultra matte sand. And then we have another duochrome, which is Cube, which is an duochrome pink pearl, and I haven't used that one yet, so I'll swatch it. Oh, it's pretty. It looks white, but it's like a pink shade. It shifts pink. Final thoughts on the Anastasia Subculture palette is that it is 2 thumbs up for me. I really, really like it. I think the palette is awesome. I'm really glad I bought it. I did purchase it with my own money, guys, so just so you know, I'm really glad I purchased it because I feel like the shadows are different from any matte shadows I've ever worked with, and I like that. I like pigment. You do have to use a little, goes a long way. Do not dig your brush in here like you're working with one of the Morphe matte shadow palettes. This is not the shadows like that. This is not the shadows that you can just swirl your brush up in it and then sweep it back and forth. If you do that, you'll look mad crazy, like crazy as hell. Do not do that. Light dips, like I'm talking about like the lightest dip you've ever dipped before. Like gently tap into each shade and you'll get intense color payoff. Meaning you're gonna eventually use less product because you're only like lightly tapping, you know, and you're gonna get like such good color payoff. I like the tones in these. I like the shades in this palette. I like that it has warm and some cools. Like the cools, like these two are kind of cool. This is really warm. This is a warm shade. This brown is kind of warm. The salmon shade is really warm. I like that it's mixed. I also like that this palette is kind of like a smoky palette, even though it's not listed as such. If you read the description, it says it's a grungy matte palette. Like, these are grungy matte shades, so some of the shades in this palette may look a little bit lighter to you, but these deep shades like Fudge, as we saw earlier when I put that in the crease by accident, that shade is not for transition. That shade is deep, okay? Untamed, I'm sure that's deep too. Rowdy is super deep. Like, it looks black when you apply it into the crease. All Star, also very deep. I'm sure Axis is deep as well. So these shades are like that grungy, deep, smoky look. Guys, I really think this palette is really, really beautiful. If you're looking for the same as the Modern Renaissance palette, this is not it. It's not the same. Obviously, you guys can tell these colors are so much deeper. And like I said, it's gonna take a little bit more work. You're gonna have to get used to it. But, you know, take your time. So yeah, guys, that is the video. I hope you guys like it. If you guys like this video, tutorial, review video, thumbs me up. Let me know you like it so I can make more for you. I got a ton of tutorials like I'm gonna be rolling out. I got so many new eyeshadow palettes. I got lots to do. If you want another tutorial using the Subculture palette, leave that down below. List what colors you want me to use. If you want me to get like real creative and such. Don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. I don't even know what you're doing with your life. Like, if you're not subscribed to me, like, why aren't you? Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I love you. Bye.
Can't sit with us. Mean girls, we don't give a can't ride with me. You ride the MARTA bus. Straight from Atlanta, I'll take your man in front of you. Do some things that you couldn't do. Headaches sprung and give them back to you. Yeah, break all the rules. Have you thinking that I'm so cruel? I don't with you, now we ain't cool. Little red, yeah, I talk cash, but I can back it on up. Got the racks on top of racks, yeah.